What can I do for jam?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, it's been a long time.
It has. It's been how long now?
2 weeks, I think. About 2 weeks since our last little chit chat, so I'm interested to hear what you've been up to.
It doesn't feel that long, you know.
Yeah, it does.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the days have been long in this household recently.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that meeting with the HR lady and then...
Yeah. How did that go?
It was, well, I went into it thinking, okay, yeah, I can explain the change in narrative to her. I can see, you know, the interesting things that Mass Effect's done, that Heavy Rain does, that her story does, and all that sort of stuff. And I was getting really into it and trying to sort of represent gaming. And she was like, "What's a console?" And I was like, "Oh, holy shit! Is that the thing that you hold in your hands?" I was like, no. So I think I'm going to take my PS4 in and show her, because like that must blow your mind when I think the last time she'd seen a video game was, you know, Atari era. So then to just like show her Far Cry 4, she'd be like, what the fuck is going on here?
You didn't pull out your Game Boy then? You know,
I did not crack out a Game Boy. It was really funny though, because she turned around and said, "Oh, this character that I'm writing, he's very lonely, and he goes home and he plays on his computer like until the early hours, and he finds it hard to socialise." I was like, Dota. He plays Dota 2. that's he's a MOBA fan. She didn't understand what I was saying, but I think I nailed that for her. So if you see a novel with a MOBA playing nerd in it called Mavid Burner, then you know that I had a hand to play in that. I should be getting royalties. Yeah, to
be honest, it kind of blows my mind that she's writing a book about stuff that she has no idea, like at all. You know, like, how can you write about a character if you have no idea?
Well, that's what she's doing.
At
least she's doing a little bit of research into it. I think that's important. I mean, you can't just write characters that you know about, because I know it's more interesting to explore different worlds and that, and different characters and stuff. So at least she's sitting there and researching it, as opposed to just going, "Oh, well, sits in his room playing Nintendo."
You say research. She's talking to you. I mean,
I am the pinnacle of the medium. I think. It's better than me.
You should have just said, "Look, Google this guy," and then like passed her a picture of Jonathan Blow and said, "This is what you're looking for."
Speak to him. Or I could have passed on to you, and she would have come back and said, "Apparently, all games are shit, and everything's crap."
That's not true at all. In fact, I've got a lot of good stuff to say this week about games.
Let's hear what you've been playing.
Well, why don't we talk about Dark Souls first? Because
you think?
Because that's not probably going to be quite as long this week. So, you know, maybe we could do that and then move on to the other stuff.
Is it just literally a run up towards the archers, and that's all you've got to discuss?
No, I've done more than that.
Hello.
Well, okay, let's go into that anyway, because I need help, obviously.
Fine.
Now, the thing, as you saw me playing last time I was over, the big problem I've got is that obviously the sword I've got is not really up to this at the moment now. You know, it's like I can still, because I'm still using that crap Drake sword.
I was supposed to tell you something that I forgot to tell you.
Oh, right.
When you come down. What have you found another weapon in your inventory?
What do you mean?
Have you found the lightning spear?
No, I don't think so.
I think you should have picked that up in Sen's Fortress. So check your inventory, because if you got the lightning spear, that's pretty good for Analondo.
Okay, because the thing is like I can still fight the stuff that's there, but it takes like a long time, and I can only do them like 1-on-1. You know, it's like, so basically I've just been running past everything. You know, because I'm not engaging stuff, because if I do, I'm either going to die or just lose everything up. Have you
been paying attention on what your stats are doing to your weapons?
Yeah, well, I've been doing what you said, and I've been putting it into, like, dexterity and, like, strength and, you know, and health, basically.
No, I didn't say strength, did I? I said dex. Just put it into dex.
Okay,
and I was listening back, I was editing the show, and I realised that you had the same amount of strength, if not a little bit more, than you do dexterity. And I was like, he's not paying attention here, is he?
Well, I thought you said strength. I'm sure you did say strength.
I said pay attention on what it increases, because weapons are scalable, so you can, you know, if you boost dex and it's a dex weapon, then you'll see the benefits.
Uh-huh.
But obviously, little James Farley thought he could do his own thing.
Well, anyway, okay, so I'll
come
more into
unstuck.
that.
Yeah.
But, okay, so anyway, so I've been going around. You saw where I was up to. I got past those archers. They're not that bad.
No, they're not.
Actually, what was funny about them is, they fall off like quite easily.
Yeah.
Often they like run towards you and fall off, and then you're like, yeah, suckers. They fall down. It's quite good.
Did you take both of them out?
No, just one of them.
Just the one. Yeah. How many times did it take you?
I don't know, about 3.
Yeah, it was the same for me, but it's a real sticking point for some people.
Really?
Like 10, 20 times and stuff like that.
Oh.
Which I could understand would be so fucking frustrating.
But if those people are fighting everything on the way to the archers, then I could understand why that would be irritating.
It's insane. I dashed past those. Those electric Drake things I didn't fight one. I think I killed one in my whole playthrough.
Yeah.
Just to see if I could do it, but yeah, they were fucking ridiculous. So I avoided them, and then of course those big things. I took down a few of them, but I don't think they should have respawned. To be honest, they're ridiculous.
The guys with the massive shields and the like the archers and that kind of thing, they're kind of they're basically big knights, aren't they? And they're
they're going to represent your next lesson, James, because in this next area we're going to master parrying.
Right. Oh, really? Okay. I've always wondered about that.
Yeah.
That's the that's using the. Okay, I'm not going to ask you which button it is because you won't know. But
it's left trigger.
Yeah, he deflects. So it's like to deflect hits. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do you do it? Because I've never been able to successfully do it.
Okay, so the best ones, the way I did it, I practiced on the knights. And where are you up to now?
Well, I'm up to the boss.
Oh, right, okay, cool. Right, so the knights on the lead up to that boss, there's loads of them. Right, practice on those. Just take some time out and think, okay, I'm not going to do a boss run. I'm going to learn how to take down these knights. And what you want to do is just as you're about to be attacked, or just as you're being attacked, hit that left trigger, and it's a timing thing, but you'll get it down eventually, and that'll mean that run up to the boss will be a piece of piss once you nail the parrying, because they attack hard. But they're really sort of open for parrying, and it's a move that you'll need to learn a lot in the latter part of the game, and especially for the final boss, you'll need to know how to parry. So I would take some time to just get that skill down because it's important. It's basically like backstabbing, but not having to edge around these people. Mm-hmm. So you just hold your shield up. The moment you see them coming in for attack, just time it right. Smack their sword with your shield, and then night bub. She's going to bed. Yes, yep, got it. Smack their sword with your shield, and then they sort of you hear that sound, that sort of poof, sort of sound, and then you can just go in and do like a sort of an attack, and it's critical hit there, James.
Okay.
So well worth learning in this area because it's a piece of piss.
All right, well, I'll give that a go because, like I said, I can beat them and get round them, but it's kind of a bit annoying. I basically just do the ones I have to do so that I can get through it. And but I did spend some time exploring that area. But the most annoying thing about that is that when I beat that archer, I went down there and I found that bonfire, and I lit the bonfire, and then I thought, okay, I went off. And
but you didn't rest it?
Yeah, I didn't rest.
Oh,
and I
fucking donut.
Yeah, I've forgotten that it's like you have to rest there, otherwise it doesn't, do the thing. But also, I talked to the guy next to, there's the guy sitting down next to it. And I don't know what that's about. But he was like, saying about, that I was interested in him and all that. Doesn't he get a bit gay? Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's like saying, "Oh, you seem interested in me." Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah, that is a bit weird. But then, gays are allowed to be anywhere. So you can bump into a gay in Anna Lunda if you want.
Yeah,
they're all right. They're all right.
Yeah.
They're like us, James. It's okay. Yeah. You can talk to them.
So anyway, that was the thing with that. It was quite funny, and but I explored around, and I basically explored as much of that as I could, whilst avoiding knights, just by picking up, like the souls that were around and stuff like that. But then I got down to the basement, and I found that armor, which I think you wanted me to get. Yeah,
is it Havel's armor?
Yes.
Yeah. I used that towards the end of the game. Yeah, not now, but towards the end.
Yeah, I just picked it up and put it on, and it's an improvement on what I had before.
Oh yeah, because you were really fucking slow, weren't you?
Yeah, and it's a bit faster, and also it's stronger as well. It's stronger than the stone armor I had before, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not very good against the boss you're about to face. You need to be a little bit lighter and mobile. Yeah. So carry on.
So I went through there, and then I, beat some more knights, and then I ended up in that massive room. The one that's like huge, and but that was the weird thing, because there's those two massive things there as well.
I hate that room so much. You've got you got the archer on one side, two massive things.
Yeah.
It's just a nightmare.
I mean, but then also there was this really weird bit where it flashed up on the screen, and it said that I've forgotten what it said now. It said something like, this, it was...
this thing is shaking.
Yeah. What's that about?
That's another sort of boss thing that you can do. It's kind of optional. I suggest you do it. You've got something in your inventory, a black orb, or I can't remember what it's called, a black something. And you use that in that area, and you fight the guy that killed the firekeeper, what do you call it? Firelink Shrine. Mm-hmm. So, it's well worth doing. I'll warn you, it's 3, normal looking dudes. Right. But it's fucking hard. I spent ages trying to do that. But yeah, I would suggest doing it so that you get, your fire, why can't I remember that Firelink Shrine back? I would strongly suggest you do that. So maybe alternate. If you get tired of this fight, then go and take on the boss, because you can do it afterwards. It's fine. But if you get tired of the boss, then you can go and take on Lautrec again. But yeah.
Okay, so I basically got to kill those massive 2 things in the room.
You don't have to.
Okay.
You can run straight to the gate, can't you? Or you can just go into the world with Lautrec and invade his world and try and kill him.
Right.
Alright.
Okay. Alright, so that's that. So anyway, I went through the white light anyway, and ended up with the boss, which is there.
These are our friends Ornstein and Smo.
Yeah, I mean, what's quite interesting about them is I got killed, obviously. I didn't do it, because I didn't have any...
Have you only had one attempt?
Flasks. Yeah, only one attempt so far.
Right.
I only had one attempt, and I only had one Estus flask, so obviously it didn't end well. But the thing is I was hacking away at one of them, and it was taking off their health pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They didn't seem to be particularly tough, if you sort of mean. So, is it just keeping mobile and trying to keep them apart or something?
Keep them separate. Yeah, there is an NPC summon for that. Mm-hmm. You can summon Solaire. If you turn up in that big room as a human, there's a place where you can summon Solaire. The biggest problem I had with this fight is the 2 dudes before I went in, and the fact that I just couldn't keep them separate as much as I tried.
Yeah.
It was getting really frustrating. And in fact, actually, I feel that I've got unfinished business with these guys, because to get through it, I summoned a player character who was really well leveled and knew what he was doing. And although obviously, I put a few hits in, he took most of he did most of the work. Mm-hmm. So it kind of feels like I was helped through it a little bit, this fight, when that's probably the only fight. In fact, that's definitely the only fight that happened in Dark Souls. So I was kind of like, I still feel that I've got to take those guys on. It still doesn't feel like I've beaten them, even though I have, So yeah, I booted up Dark Souls this week, and I got to the top of Sens, and I'm there at the moment. So I know it's just round the corner, because I can do the Iron Golem and Analondo, the first part of Analondo, pretty quickly. But it's that second part that I really want to just fucking really take on. Because I did Lautrec on my own. I think you can only do them on your own, actually. So I don't have to worry about that. And I cheated my way with Lautrec a little bit in this run, because I couldn't be bothered to do that fight again. But yeah, with Ornstein and Smo, man, fuck, they are serious business. Those 2. In fact, it's probably the biggest difficulty spike in the game. And once you get past these guys, just be happy in the knowledge that you can do anything. Once you do these guys, that's it. You can do anything in the game. Yeah, they're fucking hard, man. Mm-hmm. They're hard. But it sounds like you had a good first run, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to going back and doing them again because
looking forward to Ornstein and Smoke. If you're ringing me up next time and saying you're looking forward to it or you enjoyed it, then I'm going to kill you. I think I'm
Is it
going
that bad?
to kill
Seriously?
you. I really struggled with these dudes. Really struggled with them to the point where I nearly gave up. Like, to the point where I was going, that's it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Wow.
But then, yeah, eventually went and got a little bit of help in it.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what so basically now I've got a choice. So I can either do that or I can do the other thing.
Yeah, and you can do them in either order as well. I mean, if you do Ornstein and Smoke, then there's a bit afterwards, but you can go back into that room and take on the Trek. But obviously, if you take on the Trek and kill him, then you can go and do Ornstein and Smoke. Well, as I said, what I'd say is just take it in turns. When you get bored of one boss, try the other one. If you get bored of that boss, then try the main one again.
How difficult is the other one, do you think?
Fucking hard, man. They're both really, really hard. The problem with the other one is that there's 3 of them, and they're all pretty brutal. So, yeah, I mean, it's not an easy task, but the rewards for both of them actually are really good. Like, the rewards for beating Ornstein and Smoke is really good. The reward for beating Lautrec, obviously, you're getting Firelink back. If you haven't, picked up that Firekeeper soul that we were talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
I'm going to be really interested to see how you get on with this bit, because this really was the biggest hurdle I faced. And if you breeze past it, then you have literally got no worries towards the end of the game. I mean, there'll be a few things that you struggle on, but it's fucking mad.
Yeah, I'm going to play it tomorrow night because I've got some time. I'm going to, spend some time going into that. All right.
Cool.
It's good. Yeah.
There we go. So that's Dark Souls. That's where you're up to.
That's where I'm up to with Dark Souls. So the other stuff that I've been playing this week, but you see, the other reason I thought we could stick it here is because because I've got 3 things that I want to talk about really, but it's all like major spoiler stuff. Do you know what I mean?
See, I was thinking about this today, and should we be doing spoiler stuff?
Well, because everything I'm going to talk about is because it's all story based. All the 3 games that I've played are all like heavily story based, and there's no way that you could talk about them without spoiling them. Really, that's the problem.
I don't know. Okay, all right. Listen, you've had your Dark Souls chat. If you're not interested in hearing other stuff, then please tune out. If you are, but you're worried about spoiling, what games are we going to be talking about?
Well, I've got Her Story, I've got Gone Home, and I've got Dear Esther.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll talk about those 3 games if you don't want them spoiled. Which honestly you don't. If you've not played either of these games, then I strongly suggest that you play them, because I don't know if it's still dirt cheap, but fucking Gone Home was dirt cheap recently. That's why I said to James, you got to play this. And Her Story is well worth playing just to see what it does. So yeah, if you haven't played them, play them and come back. If you have played them and you've completed them, then let's have a little chat, shall we?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do it. What do you want to talk about first?
Do you want to do? Okay. Do you want to do Her Story? But can we not? I don't want to go into it for like ages and ages, because I know there's a lot to talk about. But do you know what I mean?
Okay. Go on then. What did you make of it?
Well, I really liked it. Obviously. I mean,
obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it is a very, very interesting game, and it's one of those things where, I started it kind of just on a whim, because like when I saw I told you when I saw like the icon for it, it looked like a Philips CDI game or something.
It plays like a Philips CDI game.
Yeah, from like the early 90s. But actually very interesting, and it kept me playing. I mean, I played it on a train journey that was like 3 hours long, and I just played it until I'd finished it, like while I was on the train, and that was a lot of fun. But what did you make of it?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I think it could have been more complicated. I think it could have been with just essentially, if you whatever theory you believe, there's essentially one character you're talking to. I think it could have been mixed up a little bit with several characters and stuff like that. But ultimately, I think it was a really good experiment that worked to show that, hey, you can have a linear narrative but presented in a non-linear way, and for it not to be completely ruined.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean, like it would have been so easy for the storyline to be completely ruined by accidentally coming across one of the last interview scenes. But it manages to avoid that.
And that's what's really clever about it, because it's like, you can't really understand, like, even the bits which are like kind of revelations in inverted commas, like, you can't really understand them unless you've seen a lot of the other stuff as well.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, so that's what made it really, like, smart, because, I mean, when I first started playing it, I like, when you do the search, I was searching for stuff like confession and stuff like that, because I was trying to find, you know, what's the shortcut here? You know, what actually happened? But then over time you begin to realise that you can't really do that, and you do have to just kind of piece it together. And here we're doing stuff. Yeah,
and I think the fact that you know, the fact that it is an ambiguous ending, you know, that there is no right or wrong story by the end of it. I think that's important, because it means that, you know, if there was a right or wrong ending, there would have had to have been a cutscene or a, you know, a movie clip explaining everything. And had they done that, like, and the first thing you search was, yes, I did it and I killed him because of this, like, it just wouldn't have worked. But because there's this whole, hey, is she, isn't she, type thing, then it kind of, well, it works. It definitely works. I thought it was a very, very good, not tech demo, but I think it was a very good idea, and I would love to see a second one, to see how complicated they can make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I thought it was good, because it's like, to be honest, I quite like the fact that there was just one person, because it was like the purity of the idea, you know, and it's...
Well, so you think there might be two people there?
This is the thing, I mean, I believe the whole thing, I'm certain it, well, not certain, because you can't really be, but I think it's the, what's it called, the split personality. That's what I think it is. But
that's what I think it is. I think because then that gives me a motive that I'm happy with, and I think it's more well explained. But then there's stuff that say, you know, there's evidence there that definitely points towards twin. So you know, you can't completely write that theory off, which is pretty fantastic, really, because then it keeps you chatting about the game and arguments and stuff like that. People thinking different things.
But it was very effective, because, I mean, I played it with, like, the filter on and everything, and I'll be honest, I did find it a bit unsettling to play. I don't know why.
I shit my pants the first time you saw the reflection in the screen.
Yeah, it was just the atmosphere in it was really, I don't know. That was the other reason I felt that it was like a split personality thing, because it had that kind of vibe going, you know, where it felt like it was going to be something like that. I don't know. But
it did. I did think it was going to be one of those scream scare games. Which I fucking hate, you know. All of a sudden, like, she goes, "Wah!" and comes out of the screen or the monitor, you're saying, and I was going to go, oh, fuck off. But yeah, I'm glad it didn't go down that route, because it would have spoiled it. It's just, there was no need for it.
But but it's very good. I mean, I look forward to see what they do next. You know, if there's going to be anything next.
I hope he does something else with that idea, with that concept, because I think there's more room to explore there. And if he doesn't, others will. You know, and a cheap knockoff will seem exactly that. It will be like a cheap knockoff when
we're gonna
you really want the main dude doing it.
It's going to be his story, and
his tale.
Yeah, his tale.
His narrative.
It's coming soon from Gameloft. It's
they'll be all over that shit.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was that, and I thought, I enjoyed that. Oh, hang on, what did you think of the acting? What was your opinion about
that? I think it has some weak points and some strong points. I think at times it was really good, but there were times where I thought, oh, this is a bit cringe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and obviously that's down to budget or whatever, but and you know, you could argue that it's purposely a bit cringy, because, you know, the unsettling nature of the character or whatever. But yeah, I know. I thought it did the job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd agree with you. That's kind of how I felt about it. I mean, the bit with the guitar, you know, it's didn't like that so much. But
see, that backs up my theory about the split personality thing. Because why would they just give her a guitar other than testing her psychiatrically? If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what gives me that idea.
See, I was going to get Chen to play this, but I don't think I will now. Actually, thinking about it, because she really hates things anyway where there isn't like where there's not a conclusion. She hates stuff where it's like ambiguous. She really hates that.
Yeah, Joe absolutely hated what's that fucking film? The Dream Within a Dream one.
Oh yeah, Inception.
Yeah, she fucking hated that.
That was brilliant. Yeah.
No, she loved it all the way through up until that very ending. She was like, oh, for fuck's sake!
What's the answer?
What's the answer? Yeah,
Chen's kind of the same. She hates ambiguity with these things, so I probably won't get her to play it, because I think she'll just get angry.
The thing is, with Jo, I think she'd love it, right? I genuinely do think she'd love it, but there's that thing where she'll always have in the back of her mind that it's a video game. You know what I mean? So she'll instantly think it's silly. She thinks like video game, especially the plots, are like a silly. Like she always watches just stupid shit. I mean, I get it. Like I don't think she's an idiot. I get why she thinks that, because 9 times out of 10 they are like, you are the guardian and all this sort of shit. I get why she thinks that, but I mean, she'd play it for 5 minutes and go, this is stupid, and then that'll be that. So that's why I decided even to just forget trying to get her on it, because it'd just be a waste of time.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, the other thing I've been playing is I played Gone Home.
Yes.
After you advised me to play it.
Another recommendation, yes.
Yeah, and I how much was it? I've forgotten. It was
about £3 or something stupid.
Yeah, it was really cheap and worth every penny, because it's a pretty superb game, and it
really is, isn't it? Oh, I'm really glad you said that, because I thought you were going to go, oh, shit.
No, it's really not. No, it's really not, because I mean, I think I did what you did, which was I played it over just one evening. Yeah. I just played it like all night kind of thing, and it was not all night because it's not that long. It's only about 3 hours long, but it's. Again, it made me feel it was very unsettling though, like the whole game, until the end.
That's totally, I mean, they totally played that. That was the whole point. Like I explained, some people had a problem with the fact that it had some sort of supernatural, hints towards the start. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, there might be a ghost in the house. And I said, but what that does is that perfectly reflects a young girl entering a creepy home for the first time ever. Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden it goes from, oh, this is a video game environment, to you having a natural fear. And although that's over something completely different to what the character is experiencing, it's a similar experience. So, you're sitting there thinking, oh God, what's going to jump out on me? And it's reflecting the character thinking, this is a creepy house and I've never been here before. I don't want to be here, if you know what I mean. That's the way I saw it, and I thought that.
Yeah, I
thought that worked really well.
Agree. I think it worked very well, because
were you doing that thing where you were running into a room and then instantly trying to find the light?
Switch. Yes. It's like every single place I went, I was like, I need a light switch. I need a light switch like that because I need the lights on, and it's like it's because it just felt, and also obviously the ambient noise as well, really helps that as well. You got the creaking from time to time, and sometimes it sounds a little bit like there's a door opening or whatever. Yeah.
It did that a lot for me, and I was kind of like, "What the fuck is behind me?" type thing. Yeah. And you would feel that, like if you were a young girl or boy, if you were a child of that age and you were walking through a creepy house for the first time, every little noise would scare the shit out of you, and that game totally pulls that feeling off.
And that's why I was very impressed with it, because it's like. And then obviously, as the story unfolds, you find that it's nothing to do with that at all, really. Yeah. And it's just and the story is really well done, I thought. Like the way in the beginning, I felt a bit kind of like, oh yeah, this sounds a bit rough. As in the dialogue sounded a bit sort of like a teenage girl kind of thing, I mean, it is totally, the main story, forgetting the subplots, but the main story is proper cliche, coming of age bullshit. But it worked quite well, I thought.
It worked so well, yeah.
Yeah, the way they did it. And it's like, you keep picking up things which are like little bits of clues and, that sort of thing towards, the overall story, and then you read, and it's like, it was nice to hear, like, and then it has like a kind of a happy ending as well, which is like,
well, yeah,
it's
I completely fucked up the ending.
How?
Because I was so scared of what was in the attic that I ran into the attic with my head down, so I missed the second till last diary piece, which pretty much explains everything, like what happened to the sister and all this sort of stuff. So I just got and now I'm here, so please don't tell mum or whatever. And I was kind of like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've totally ruined it for myself. And then I had to reload it and go to that second to the last diary entry to actually understand what the fuck was going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well disappointing. But yeah, I mean, that was my own fault. That's not the game's fault, really.
But the other thing they did a really good job with that attic was, how there's all those like lights on the outside.
Yeah.
And it makes it look like a fucking demonic shrine or something. Like from that, it was kind of looked horrible.
Yeah, it was very clever.
I thought I don't want to go up there. And then before you go up there, you find that room that's got like the pentagram in it and everything, and that bloke with the picture on it, and you're thinking, my goodness, what is going on up there? And then you go up there, and then you just find out it's just,
well, it's her space. It does a few things. I'll just talk quickly about things that I really loved about it. I really loved the fact that you had a sense of each character's space within the house. Like, you knew if you were in a room that the dad used a lot, you knew you were in a room that the mum used a lot, because, there's potted plants and stuff like that, and she expressed a love for gardening and shit like that. So you kind of understood each person's place within the house, and that was definitely hers. That she had made that attic her own, escape or whatever. And I love shit like that. I knew you would fall for the time period and the nostalgia that it forces. Yeah. I just thought, this is definitely up James's street, this stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I was pretty convinced that you'd like that. How much of the subplots did you pick up?
Do you mean the stuff with the grandfather? That was, or was it uncle? Was it an uncle or a grandfather?
Well, you had two, didn't you? You had Oscar you had the stuff with the grandfather that hated everything that the dad did and was real. That struck a chord with me because it really reminded me of my relationship with my dad. Like, he's the sort of person that, like, when I was a kid, I used to make music using like shitty music programs on the PC, like just crappy little dance tunes and shit like that. On a program called Acid, which was like a very, very basic music generator thing. And I would turn to him and go, "Oh, Dad, listen to this. Look, listen to what I made," type thing. And because it wasn't the music he liked, he instantly went, "Well, this is shit. Or turn this shit off." Do you know what I mean? And that totally reminded me of when his dad was kind of going, I'm actually disappointed that you're making these really trashy sci-fi novels when he's like an accomplished
he's like a professor, and he's like
professor
got the whole,
and everything. And he's like, "Why are you wasting your time doing this sort of shit?"
And he was like, "You're better." He's like, "You can do better than this." And it's all like, it's just
exactly. I mean, that is, that sort of got me in the feelings. The Oscar stuff is incredible. Did you work out the whole Oscar stuff?
I think so, because that was the uncle that had previously owned the house, yeah?
That's correct, yeah, and they gave him the house. They gave the dad the house. He had a drug problem, yeah? It appears. Yeah. Because I unlocked one of the, there's that safe, and it's got like a whole ton of like opiates and stuff like that in there. Yeah, I had that, yeah.
And, but
it's darker
also,
than that.
Yeah, it also seems that relationship between him and the father was not right, yeah?
Yeah, no shit. Well, anyway, from what I gathered, because I missed some of the stuff, right? I didn't catch everything, but from what I gathered, he was gay and outcast by the family, basically, for being gay. So I felt really sort of like sorry for the character until I started reading other people's findings, and you work out that he wasn't outcasted because he was gay. He was outcasted because he molested the dad. In the thing, and it was like, holy fuck. And then when you really look into it, that's when you start noticing the same year pop up over and over again. Like he wrote a book about a time traveller travelling back to this year that he keeps talking about and putting right the wrongs that had happened to him in the past.
Yeah.
And that obviously relates to the sexual abuse that he experienced with his uncle and stuff like that. Like he's writing as himself, going back and sort of confronting his uncle about what he'd done to him and shit like that.
There was also that portrait as well that had the face removed in the basement. Did you see that?
I can't remember. It was a long time ago since I played this.
I think, and that was like supposed to be a portrait of the uncle. So obviously, maybe the father had probably wanted to get
rid of that and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's so well done. It's not in your face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh yeah, he was molested. Like it was actually not. I don't want to say like classily done, but it was impressively handled. I think is the right way of putting it. It was kind of like, tastefully is the wrong way to talk about it because it's such a horrific story or whatever, but it was dealt just right. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like they just stuck that in there to get something controversial in or anything like that. And that's important, man. What a way to do it! Like, what a fucking way to do it.
Yeah, so I was really impressed by it, and I came away like still thinking about it and just thinking I wish there were more games like this.
Absolutely. And what I find interesting is that what we've got here, what we've just spoken about, is let's chuck Dark Souls in as well. You've got 3 games with interesting stories that are presented completely differently. So you've got the linear story of her story, which is literally just cut up into pieces and you're discovering each piece and putting it together in your head. Then you've got a linear story within Gone Home, which is presented to you more mechanically. There's a route, but then it does just enough to sort of twist that story and lead you through a path, which is very, very clever. And then you've got Dark Souls, which appears to have no story or any, sort of information. But because it sticks in your head, you start working things out yourself and listening to other people's theories and stuff. And, that's got essentially a linear story, that you can't really, influence. You can a little bit, but you can't really influence it. But you, but it's kind of, you've really got to delve into it to try and even, crack little pieces of it. So, it's real. I just find that 3 really, really fucking interesting ways to present a story, man. Mm-hmm. It's clever. Very clever.
But they were, very good. I mean, the only other game I played, which I don't know have you played Dear Esther?
No.
Okay.
I've got it, but you can spoil it because I'm probably not going to play it.
It's an hour long. Like, you can finish it in about an hour.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but bad things about it, to be honest with you.
I think probably you'd hate it quite a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd like it very much. I found it. It's difficult to know what to talk about with this game because it's so. There's so many like kind of good ideas in it, and it's like I can understand what they were trying to do with it, but also it is terribly pretentious, and
really?
It is and it is very sort of like. Can you play it? Because I'd like to talk to you about it. Really.
All right. Well, I've got it.
What you think.
I've got it. I'll play it, and then we'll have a chat. I've got it on my MacBook somewhere.
Because like I said, it's only an hour. I mean, basically, but you need to play. Okay, the first 20 minutes or so. No, seriously, the first 20 minutes or so are interminable, and but it does get.
They're going to put that on the box.
Yeah.
The first 20 minutes.
It does get more interesting, and towards the end, it is quite interesting actually. But the first 20 minutes or so, are interminable. I was just thinking, what am I doing? Basically, which I know is part of the point. And that's the thing, right? And that's what's annoying me a bit about this game, is that whatever I say about this game, somebody's going to turn around and just say, oh, it's supposed to be like that. It's an experience of this guy and all that. It's like, well, that's true, but it's not very interesting, is it? That's part of the problem with it. But, please play it, because it's, like I said, it's only an hour. And, like, it's, I'd like to know what you think, really.
I'll play it over the weekend, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Probably enough. I need to go to bed. I'm so tired.
Yeah, me too. It's
I will catch you on the flip side.
Yeah, take care.
Bye, James. I
Bye-bye.
love you.
What?